Hello, my friends, it's Nanny. Today's video turned out to be a hoot. I originally was going to talk about our facial muscles and some of the things we can do at home to tighten things up and just make us feel good about ourselves. Talk about the pro-aging process. Well, when I was outside doing some exercising, I ran into Colleen, our youngest daughter, and she came down with Harley. So it turned out to be a visit with some pets. Colleen sat down and we had a great conversation about intermittent fasting, no less. But somehow, in connection with our face and muscles and whatever, the phenomenon of resting bitch face came up. I'd recently read something about it. I was familiar with the term. However, there are some very interesting facts. It is real, believe it or not. There have been tests done, and you will find out what that is. And I'm sure you'll be racing off to the mirror to find out if you have a resting bitch face, or what is commonly called RBF. There are other things in the video. You'll see us in the garden and everything. So stay tuned. It's a funny video, and there are some interesting things for you too. Looks like the original content that I thought I was going to be doing, which included a lot of the muscle workout, might have to come in the next video. But I did show you this one, and Colleen was a witness to what I was doing. Come on along and walk with me. I'm just going to go up and down the driveway, which is a hill coming up. Going down, it's a slight grade. But today the sun's not shining. And since we're talking about exercise, I realized that I feel better when I walk. And I haven't walked in almost a week, not since we've been to the emergency room with Moosey. And I know, as well as everybody does, that if you don't keep your body going and walking, it doesn't do so well. In our last video, we did talk about not only exercising our legs and arms and the core and everything. I've reached the bottom, so I'm on my way up. And oh look, I found a package. Let's see what this is. Prime. Always a Prime package for somebody. Yep, it's me. I don't know what it is, but I'll take it. I did talk about our facial muscles as we go forward in the aging process. And I found out that there's 43 muscles in our face, as I told you, and there's no reason why we can't exercise these as well as our body. Whew, reach the top of the hill. I'll do that a couple more times. All this brush, this was a big tree and the gardener cuts it down, but look how beautiful it is with all these trees down. Moosey's very, very happy. Kind of good being outside for a change. I did want to talk to you about my last video and some of the things that I said we were going to do today. Now aging is different for everyone. Aging can affect people in many different ways. Some of us get through it pretty much okay with not too much chronic pain and a really good positive attitude with wonderful things happening as we age. There's always a new level of something happening. And others approach it with an attitude, especially if they have chronic pain or they're isolated and alone and they're not in contact with friends or family. And I can understand that. Your attitude about aging would be different from those of us who have been lucky enough to escape so far some of the really bad chronic pain and diseases, and so our attitude, affected by all the things in our life, is going to be different. And I could name a million wonderful things about aging, and I'm going to call it pro-aging. Pro, a prefix meaning for. You know, we've all known this since we've been little toddlers. We've known that the aging process goes forward, that it happens to everyone. And as you grow old, as young children, you see grandmas and grandpas, you notice that they're different, but you still love them. So, you know, grandma might have gray hair and wrinkles and everything, but if she's a nice grandma, she's got a big smile on her face and she hugs you and she loves you. We are programmed as children to recognize the physical changes as we grow older, and happiness is something that you control. Make good choices when you're young, and they will follow you all through your life. Oh, look who's here, ladies. Harley, and she's doing beautifully. Oh, and look what
she's
I
getting
have.
spoiled.
Now, I want you to jump up here. Come on. Come on. Come up. Come up. Okay. All right. Wait. Oh, yes. Now, Moosey tried to feed, and he doesn't know how to put his hand out.
She doesn't have a gentle mouth.
No, she doesn't. She doesn't. I'm talking to Colleen, ladies. She just came down. Hey, you've lost weight, kiddo.
I hit the 20-pound mark.
Oh, stop.
Yeah.
What are you doing?
Intermittent
Do
fasting.
you want to be on camera? Come in and show my ladies. They love you. Sit here. Look at my beautiful Colleen. You know Colleen, folks, don't you? Tell us what you're doing. Colleen has just dropped. Okay, she knows I have some more of these things in my hand here. Tell us what you've done. You look wonderful.
Well, it's been 20 pounds since October. So it's been slow, but I've been doing intermittent fasting, like pretty seriously.
And how do you break your fast in the morning? Because I do that too, but I think I might cheat a bit with my coffee. Come on, hop up.
So I do the 20-40, which is kind of extreme.
Wow.
But once I hit my goal weight,
Not 20-40, what? 24.
24. Sorry, 24.
So you only have, okay. Oh, give me a kiss.
Hardly.
Okay, that's it now. That's it. Let me talk to Colleen for a while.
So
Okay.
so I fast for 20 hours, eat in a 4-hour window, which works for me since Micah works nights. I don't have to make a big dinner and do all that. I just feed Shannon, and then I fast until 10 o'clock the next morning. I have big breakfast. I have a huge lunch.
What do you have for breakfast? Because I hate breakfast.
Well, I just made egg bites. I just baked, you know, in the muffin tins.
Yeah.
And that's all protein, and I'm also trying to keep to the lower carb.
Good for
So
you.
it's only about 1.5 pounds a week,
That's
but
good.
still, you know.
But that's good, and you're young enough so that you won't have any residue of you don't have any hanging skin anywhere or anything.
Well, and also I have insulin resistance, which I take metformin for, and intermittent fasting is supposed to help with your insulin levels, because every time you eat, you have an insulin spike. And so, and you're making your body, when you have insulin resistance, have to you know, get it back down every time you eat.
Well,
So-
I'm glad Colleen popped by. That was fun. He doesn't want to leave. When Harley came down, Ghost ran, and that left time for Shamu to have mommy Shamu time. So I can have my time with Shamu. Okay, Nanny has to get up now. Well, that was a nice surprise, having Colleen come down, and Harley, and Shamu, and just a great day of a lot of my little loved ones. Plus this. This is my amaryllis in the wax bulb. Look at the height of it, and it looks like I'm getting 3 flowers from this. Could be a 4th, but hallelujah. Valentine's Day sprouted, and this should be gorgeous. Now, I did take a picture of the watercress in my kitchen too, and it's very minuscule, but I took a close-up of it, and you can see all these little tiny fuzzy green things, so that's working too. I had to magnify them a bit, but there they are, coming up strong. And wasn't that interesting about intermittent fasting? I mean, she is a testament that it works. Now, her window of eating is extreme, but you know, you kind of get used to it. So as I was saying, I'm probably going to have to put off that video where I will put the appropriate oil on my face and go through some of these different types of muscle yoga exercises. And it only makes sense to maintain. It's a fun thing to do. And you know, we are working muscles here in our face. It does matter, and it won't take too awfully much time. Now, this one is fun, isn't it? Do you notice how I have noticed lately, especially with my bifocals, that I make faces when I'm looking up at something? I always remember my father reading a newspaper and making that face. And I'm very conscious of when I do that, I am making faces that I don't want to last on my face. Remember when your mother used to say, and you're mad and you make a mad face, your mother used to say, you make that face too much, it's going to stay that way. Did your mother used to say that to you too? Well, this does help with some of these lines, and you're exercising your nasal labia. That's it, I think. Watch again. I don't want to choke on this part. This part just came off. I'm sure maybe that's another part to it. But I like this one because you can do it and you feel the skin spreading out, and you do feel a difference with this one. Another one that most people have, and it's reasonable to get online, is the jade roller. The smaller end of it, I like to keep this in the refrigerator and use it in the morning. Under the eyes in the morning, and remember about the lymphatic drains. As I say, this is not the workout that I had intended, but other things popped up in my life, and I wanted to include them. This also is for the jawline. It's for the neck, going down into more lymphatic drains right here, right above the clavicle area, up here. Everything goes toward those drains. This is also for the, Colleen called them the parentheses, your in-between eyes. I like this one where you raise. Now, I used to do this one, my gua sha. This is a larger one. I do have a smaller one that you use for certain things, but I love this one for the jawline and also for these things here. I don't want to do it over makeup, but you get the idea. A lot of times your fingers work. You use the palms of your hands and you rub, especially, you know, when you put your oils and your creams on your face, don't just lightly put it on. I see a lot of people just do this. I like to work it in and work it in. Might as well kill 2 birds with 1 stone, right? I do that on up here also. Also for this area, you use your knuckles and you go up toward the lymphatic drains. And of course, this is for here. And also, I prefer to use probably the gua sha on the neck, but you can always do your patting. There's so many different videos of very qualified people that do this, but I just wanted to touch the tip of the iceberg with what you can do for all the muscles in your face and for pro-aging, because, you know, we want to look healthy. We want to look the best we can, at least and not get too into this. Someone said, "Oh, don't worry, Nanny, about all of that." I don't worry. Thank heavens, I don't worry about this. You know, in life with a huge, big family, there's too many other things you can worry about. And as I've always said, I do worry. Not about this, though. I'm sorry, I probably shouldn't predict what I'm going to do next because something always comes up that I want to tell you about. And I did want to include my pets and Colleen's visit. Now, if you have not met, for my new people who have just recently subscribed, Colleen is my youngest daughter of 6 children. I have 3 daughters, 3 sons, and we live in this darling little 90-year-old adobe cottage on Colleen and her husband's property. And Colleen is 45 right now and has 2 children in college and another one in high school. And she's what we call our caboose, the end of our 6 kids. So we're very fortunate to live near their family, and we've lived here ever since we retired. So that was a fun little visit. And our living situation is such that Moosey and I have this cottage down the hill from the big house, as the kids refer to it. And we have our privacy, but yet we're near family. And this has been fun for us. Plus, a lot of our other family lives nearby. One funny thing, and I want to give you some humor in this particular video. One term that I came across, and I've heard it before, recently I came across this one, and it has to do with our face and the shape that some of our features take on, and perhaps a little bit of our emotions, but not much. And it's called the resting bitch face. There, I said it. The resting bitch face, which is sometimes called RBF. And it is a real phenomenon. It's a funny term, and people think it's a big joke, and a lot of people refer to it as tongue-in-cheek. However, there have been studies done on that phenomenon, and there is a piece of software that will take pictures and somehow go through this imaging where it shows what, and this is of your photographs of your resting calm face, where you're just sitting there, not thinking bad thoughts or good thoughts, just your normal resting face without smiling or whatever. And you can test your own face. And they have found in this scientific testing that 97% of the people who they tested had no real emotions going on in their heads or hearts at the time, only about 3%. And it only included a very small portion of perhaps some negative emotions if there showed a resting bitch face. By the way, our mantle is under reconstruction for the week. I'm going to have to get out to the shed, and you know my problem out there. It's still not finished. I have to find my greeny St. Patrick's Day paraphernalia. So we're in the process of Valentine's stuff going out, and hopefully bringing in some, I even have some shamrocks out in the garden that I'm going to bring in and put them up on the mantle, plus some other cute things that I have for St. Patrick's Day. So, don't mind that. Moosey is listening, of course, to this, sitting in Moosey's world, and I'll tell you what he has to say. He won't be on camera, but he has a funny story about his resting bitch face. And yes, I guess he does have one. You know, a lot of us do, especially as these become more prominent, but it depends on if your mouth is downturned at the sides. A lot of people have beautiful eyes, but they might be downturned. It's just your normal features. It doesn't necessarily that you are one of those B words. It's just that perhaps your face is. Now, I'm going to do a resting face, and I'm sure perhaps mine might show. Now, let me clear my mind. Now, watch how you can slightly pull out of that RBF by not moving very many muscles in your face. Watch my eyebrows and watch my lips. They say that if you raise your eyebrows, for instance, when you see someone you haven't seen in a while, all of a sudden that pulls you out of that RBF, or a slight smile will do it. Just an interesting thing that I thought you might enjoy. Look it up, because it is a real phenomenon. Do you have one?
I think. Do.
Oh, Moosey says he does. Tell us about it, Moose.
I've had in the past, one time or another, hundreds of people working for me. And I have a face where my lips turn down and it looks like I'm mad. And I have to tell you something, those people did not call it an RBF. They called it a SOB face.
Oh, really?
Because they thought I was an SOB. And I would call them in and say, Mr. or Lady, God made me this way. I'm sorry. I'm not mad at you. I'm not an SOB. Take my word for it.
Well, that's his RBF SOB face. And it's true. The kids would say to me a lot of times when we'd be sitting around and nothing would be really going on, and one would whisper to me, is Dad mad at something? Oh, well, it still is a pleasant face. And no one notices. Enjoy these pro-aging years, because once again, you know what I'd like you to do? Write down, if you like journaling, write down 10 things that you like about growing older. I could name 10. Now, there are many we could name that we don't like, and we know what those are. All those things about having trouble getting up off the toilet seat and having to stand on one leg to put your pants on, which doesn't work anymore. Oh, you know the drill. But don't think about those things, because we can get through all that. But there's a lot of other things that at least I can find that make me happy about growing older. I know you're probably all ready to rush off to the mirror and see if you have one of those resting bitch faces, but just try and clear your mind and see if you do. Now, they say there's lots of things we can do, that when we do our eye makeup, we make everything go on the upswing, that we put our blush high up on our cheeks, that we raise our eyebrows to when we see people that we're meeting, and always try and keep somewhat of a little smile on. But on the other hand, who the heck cares? If people love you, they're going to love you anyway. And by the way, it's not awfully bad to have an RBF. Well, thanks so much for watching, and who knows what'll be in the next video. I will continue with some of these little exercises, only because I do think that they're fun, and they say that within a couple of weeks, which is what I like at this game. I don't want to wait 6 months or a year for something to happen. But if I think that the muscles in my face can be worked out and help maintain it to make me feel good about myself, I'm going to do it. Bye for now. See you soon, and God bless us all. Is that my resting bitch face?